I call the member for Jagga.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Well, it is extraordinary to follow the member for Calare, who's plainly forgotten that he voted to actually axe the energy supplement that will see 2 million Australians, including 400,000 aged pensioners, lose their energy supplement. If you are a married couple, that means $550 out of your budget. And this member for Calare and every other National Party member and every Liberal has voted for that cut. Every single budget that this lot have brought down since 2014 has contained a cut to the pension. Every single budget. Every single one. You're addicted to cutting the pension. You're absolutely addicted. Back in 2014, we had some real specials, some absolute specials. Talk about policy consistency.
Just resume yourself. Point of order, member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. I'd ask that the member direct her comments through the chair. Thank you.
That's right. Continue.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It is just an extraordinary display by this government that in every single budget they have tried to cut the pension. And here we have today this government in the Senate trying to give big business a $65 billion tax cut, while at the same time they have legislation in the parliament to cut the pension. To cut the pension this year, just like they had legislation in the parliament to cut the pension last year, the year before that and the one before that. We all remember that it was this Liberal National Party government that sought to cut pension indexation. That would have taken $23 billion out of the pockets of pensioners. $23 billion. That's what would have happened if Labor hadn't protected pensioners. Labor has had to, every single year after this lot's budget, we have had to vote down the cuts to pensioners that each and every one of you have voted for. Of course, it was this government that took $1 billion out of pensioner concessions. That was done by this government, just as a stroke of the pen. They axed the $900 senior supplement. Of course, it was this government that came in here and changed the assets test arrangement. That actually knocked 90,000 pensioners off the pension. You took them off the pension altogether. 330,000 pensioners hurt by that decision by this government, which of course all the Liberal and National Party members voted for. All of them voted for it. Of course, we know for some reason this government, and I know there are some National Party members who don't agree with this policy. I don't know about the member for Calare. He might get up and tell us whether or not he agrees that the pension age should go to 70. Does the member for Calare agree with that? I know there are other members of the National Party who don't agree with that. And funnily enough, the government never brings this legislation into the parliament. They just keep the cut in the budget. So, in fact, their deficit numbers are all wrong. But what this would mean, of course, is that hundreds of thousands of Australians would not have access to the pension until they were 70. Hundreds of thousands of Australians, anyone born after 1958, would be affected by that decision that the government has already made. It's in the budget. And 375,000 Australians would have to wait longer for the pension. So these are all your policies that will hurt the pension. I could go on for hours about the cuts to the pension that this government actually has in the budget, that they're trying to get through this parliament, that would hurt hundreds of thousands of Australians. Of course, one of the other things that this government refuses to do, that so many pensioners are calling on them to change, is to fix the deeming rates. Interest rates keep going down. For 3 years, this government has refused to adjust the deeming rates. That is pure theft on the part of this government to pensioners,
The
and
member's
that just
time has
sums this government
expired.
up.
And before I call the member